Global warming, also referred to as climate change, is the observed century-scale rise in the average temperature of the Earth's climate system and its related effects. Multiple lines of scientific evidence show that the climate system is warming. Many of the observed changes since the 1950s are unprecedented in the instrumental temperature record, which extends back to the mid-19th century, and also in paleoclimate proxy records, which cover thousands of years. Global warming is mostly being caused by human activities, mainly increasing concentrations of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide. If a planet's atmosphere contains greenhouse gases, they will radiate energy in all directions. Part of this radiation is directed towards the surface of Earth, warming it. The intensity of the downward radiation, that is, the strength of the greenhouse effect, will depend on the atmosphere's temperature and on the amount of greenhouse gases that the atmosphere contains. Burning of fossil fuels and deforestation both increase the greenhouse effect, which means that over time they cause the average temperature of Earth to rise. The accumulation in the air of chlorofluorocarbons, refrigerants, and chemicals from aerosol cans has led to a hole in the ozone layer. This allows more UV light to reach Earth and has led to an increase in skin cancer. The ozone layer prevents most harmful UVB wavelengths of ultraviolet light, which is UV light, from passing through the Earth's atmosphere. These wavelengths cause skin cancer, sunburn, and cataracts, which were projected to increase dramatically as a result of thinning ozone, as well as harming plants and animals. These concerns led to the adoption of the Montreal Protocol in 1987, which bans the production of CFCs and other ozone-depleting chemicals. The Montreal Protocol is widely considered the greatest international environmental achievement ever. Renewable energy, renewable energy is energy generated from natural resources, such as sunlight, wind, rain, tides, and geothermal heat, which are renewable, which means naturally replenished. Renewable energy technologies range from solar power, wind power, hydroelectricity, microhydro, biomass, and biofuels for transportation. A non-renewable resource, on the other hand, is a resource of economic value that cannot be readily replaced by natural means on a level equal to its consumption. Most fossil fuels, such as oil, natural gas, or coal, are considered non-renewable resources, and that their use is not sustainable because their formation takes billions of years. Looking at fossil fuels now. The attraction of fossil fuels is that they are relatively cheap and readily available. The problem with them is that they are not a renewable resource and they cause pollution. Excessive burning of fossil fuels causes high concentrations of carbon dioxide and water vapor in the air. This leads to an increase in the average temperature on Earth, which leads to a rising sea level, which can damage coral reefs and cause more extreme storms. Burning of fossil fuels causes acidification of oceans, which leads to an increase in carbonic acid in the oceans, which in turn leads to a decrease in carbonate ions. Carbonate ions are used to build coral reefs by certain oceanic animals. Therefore, an increase in fossil fuels leads to a decrease in coral reefs. Coral reefs provide for a greater diversity of fish species. This means that the decline in coral reefs leads to a decline in fish available for consumption. And finally, we have acid rain. Acid rain results when sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides are emitted into the atmosphere and transported by wind and air currents. The sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides react with water, oxygen, and other chemicals to form sulfuric and nitric acids. These then mix with water and other materials before falling to the ground. A small amount of acid rain comes from natural resources, such as volcanoes, but the majority of acid rain comes from the burning of fossil fuels.